everyone, it's PU2 Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for checking out our D&D 5th edition campaign, IBSTPSNIC. I built a Sandcastle this past summer, and now it's a campaign. I apologize on this video. We did have some audio issues, so I was just going to put a disclaimer before you start watching that this video has been highly edited. Usually we move our Twitch streams from Twitch over to YouTube so that you can catch up on all our different campaigns. But this one was a little different. A lot of the audio coming in from the party was muted for the first half of the stream. So I've chopped out the audio of the party because it wasn't there. So you hear more me. The first part of the video seems highly edited, but you should still hang out, still be able to follow along with the content of what's going on. The party, we do party introductions, we do checking around the table, all that's been cut from here because you couldn't hear them. And then some of the responses they have later when they meet the cursed matriarch. For the story and the lore for this campaign, I encourage you to go back and check out the other videos. We pick right back up in the Dark Forest where we left off. And much of this video is the party getting reintroduced to the campaign after a long break. The parts that are notable misses from the audio cuts is just the start of the conversation with the cursed matriarch. It doesn't get too far before the audio cuts back in, though. Also, there's a ritual that's going on, and you learn through part of the audio that there was a hovering object that looked like a dark magic egg. So that should be enough to get you caught back up, and this will catch up in... You should be all caught up to start the remainder of this video. Thanks, and please follow, like, and subscribe. I apologize about my mistake. Have a good day. We're live! What up, Twitch? We're live! I had to dust off the start button on the stream. It's been so long. So welcome for you guys who've probably not seen me missing. I've been missing for a long time. PU2 here with the PU2 Cru. I am PU2. You can find us on all the social medias and on YouTube. And we also have a merch store here on Twitch. And I'm here with the crew to do a, hopefully, closing session, but getting close to a closing session of IBSTPSNIC, which stands for, I built a Sandcastle this past summer, and now it's a campaign. And it's a wild and crazy cuckoo bananas campaign that we've had a lot of fun doing. And I've got the PU2 Cru all here. Our schedules have synced up. The astrology and the stars have all matched up into the sky for us to all be here at the same night. So it's beautiful, it really is. Welcome, folks. We play a campaign that is based off a Sandcastle that I built during the summer. And now it's basically the winter. We do it's a 5th edition campaign. These guys are level, what are you guys, 7, 5, 6? See, I don't even know anymore. What level are y'all? Limitless. I think I want to say it's 5. Somebody open a character sheet. Level 5. Level 5 campaign. Homebrew. It has been a while since we've played. Like a while. So the players might struggle, I might struggle, but I've been listening to our most recent session, which was session 11. Because we've cataloged everything on YouTube, which is awesome for viewers, y'all out there viewing, but also for your DM who needs to catch up. So I've got notes. I'll bring you guys all up to speed. I'm just going to do a quick overview of everything that's happened so far. So let me cue up my Santopia music. There we go. Okay. That's it. There. Nature finds a way. Anyway, welcome to Santopia, the land where a cryptic prophecy rules the land. 6 kings till kingdom's end. This party has formed over some unlikely meetups in which Luca banded together a bunch of people that he labeled his servants. You guys went on missions to help ease the king at the time, King Rose's nervousness is about this prophecy. You investigated a shipwreck and checked that out. Ended up just being a shipwreck, but you went back and reported to the king that it might be an invasion. So he got keyed up there a little bit. You went down under the kingdom to investigate a problem in the water supply of the kingdom, where you met a earthworm drake that was infesting the waters there. You slayed this beast, and then came back up topside to report to the king. You were then commissioned to go check out why the ingredient of a secret crop that the kingdom had went missing. Your search led you into the desert up by way of the swamp to the lair of the Sun Devil. You met him. He sent you on your way with the what you thought were the thieves that were murdered and the plans to this ingredient. When you arrived at the kingdom, the captain of the guard, Captain Drake, noticed that these people you brought back with them were murdered. And you were framed for it and thrown in prison. Alright, so I ran out of music. Guys, Twitch, just so you know, I usually time that very good, but we've been wasting so long, I'm going to have to play this song again. So 1 second, we'll play it again. So we can get back where we started. Alright, so that's where we were before we started last session. So starting last session, you guys were in the jail cell. You noticed that there started to be an uprising as a loud ruckus started on the outside. Luca thought it was his birthday. Everybody else recognized it to be some sort of revolution, war, rebellion. You met Gleb, who happened to be incarcerated with you. Gleb and you all escaped. He was this kind of peddler of illegal magical items. If you remember, he led you out of the kingdom. You had a choice of joining the chaos that was inside of the city walls of Santopia or go to the Dark Forest with him. You chose the latter. So you went to the Dark Forest with Gleb. You found his homestead, which was just kind of this campsite on the fringes of the Dark Woods. But it was ransacked. Somebody had gone through his stuff and left a mysterious mark. You all, by association with Gleb, had been marked. And you had to go talk to the Curse Matriarch, the drow that ruled the Dark Woods. And you all moved towards her throughout the Dark Woods. You learned that the Dark Woods was basically like a hurricane. The closer to the wall of the forest, the denser the woods and the mystery and the dark magic get. You broke through. After battling a bunch of mimics, you were able to make it to the center part of the Dark Forest, known as the Inner Hollow, to meet with the Cursed Matriarch. Now that's good. See, I only needed 2 sessions to get you guys cut up, and that's where we are now. So my music and my timing is now good, but it was just too long. I had to do it twice. Okay. So yeah, that's where we are now. The Cursed Matriarch, you weren't really chained up. You weren't really cuffed up. You were just kind of escorted. You had been flanked as soon as you came in by the different drows that were kind of escorting you to the center spiral building where the Cursed Matriarch is. You can see she's the most prominent figure you see. I kind of described her to you as being a Two-Face-like character. We all know Two-Face from Batman. Part of her face was drow, dark skin, red eyes. Other part of her face, very, very old looking woman, gray hair. So that's kind of what you saw. You have approached this spire. It's not really a building. It's got kind of more of a courtyard, open air kind of style to it. She's in the middle. Lots of magical rooms around her. Looks like some sort of, not satanic, but some sort of like tribal cursed ritual thing going on that she's standing in the middle of. And then as you all approach, she narrows her gaze on you. And then that's where we'll start our session. So, the matriarch stares you down as you enter. You are not being forced in any sort of restraint or by touching you to go towards her. The drows that escort you, most of them are wearing sort of knight armor, and they've kind of closed off your exit. So it's like a polite push, but you can definitely tell that they are trying to funnel you to her. Gleb has not said a lot since your encounter with the mimic. He's kind of lost a lot of color in his face. He is... I'm going to turn the forest music down just a tear. Okay. He's not communicating very much. He's very nervous, obviously. You can do that without any sort of check. Notice how clammy he's looking, nervous he is. They've kind of... they, being the drows that have sort of met you upon your entrance into this part of the woods, have made a little bit of a separation between him and you guys. So it's almost like they kind of know you're just by association, but regardless, you all are moving. So Gleb is in the front. They're kind of being a little bit more rough with him, getting closer to his body, kind of very, very shoulder to shoulder with him, getting him towards the cursed matriarch. And the group that you're with is following close behind. As you approach, you can see it's kind of calmness in this dark forest. It is eerie. The dark forest has kind of been a mossy ground, very kind of wet, damp kind of ground, very foggy air, misty kind of overhanging air, like clouds that hang just a little too low. The wood lines have been very dark. Shadows dance in weird ways as you walk around and operate throughout the dark wood. And then you come here. It is a clearing. There's not much actual wood here. There's more nice castle kind of buildings. Not very tall. They don't go higher than the wood line. But they're nice. They're chiseled stone. They've got nice doors. The air is still misty and foggy here, but it's just not as dense. You don't notice much about the ground anymore. It seems to be a lot more firmer of a ground. It's not as damp. It's not as kind of wet moss that has a lot of give to it. It's a little bit more hard rock, like a harder, firmer surface that you're walking on now. So it's almost like you're walking on more rock now. As you approach, you notice that it's gotten a little less eerie in this area, but for those of you that use magic, you're getting all sorts of pings on your magic dar of this area. Some just eerie dark magic vibes. As you approach the spire, there is a circle on the ground. It is like a seance circle, rather large, almost 50 yards by 50 yards circle, and it's dark. It's and it's sort of bubbles, kind of like a blackish ooze-ish magic that bubbles just above the surface, almost like a slick, bubbling tar pit. It doesn't bubble over the ground, but it's almost like that part of the ground has turned to like an ooze. As you approach that circle, the drows immediately funnel you around it to the other side. The other side is where the cursed matriarch is standing, talking very softly with one side of her mouth, and that's the drow side. Illuminating the black pool is different runes that sort of interact and cascade with one another, and bits of magic and arcane energy arc in and around the runes. Some of them pop up into the air out of the pool of ooze, the seance circle, for just like a couple feet and go back down in, and it just seems to be like this active pool of like dark magic. As you get close to that, you guys are getting some weird vibes off that thing. For those of you that recognize any sort of magic, you're like, this is some weird crap. So you're funneled around to the side of the matriarch. You approach her on her human old lady side, and she stares forward as you approach from her human side. As they bring Gleb in, she stops talking and looks up, never making direct eye contact with Gleb as he's over here to the side, and true tall male drow are behind him. And she says something that's kind of in a hushed tone. Can't tell what it is. The drow have left you a little further back from them, so I would say you're now 50 yards. So you guys, you're the party, the four of you all are at to the side of the like black pool, just kind of waiting in line, as it were, to see her. So you can't hear much of what's going on. You see a lot of hand gestures from Gleb. He gets very animated. Seems to be very, very panicking. And the guards hush him at one point. He gets very quiet. She actually turns to him and says something. You can't quite make what it is out. And then you just, no. And they grab him and take him away. And he's screaming, you guys gotta help me! Like he's just screaming back to you guys. But as you're doing it, the drow are kind of roughhousing him and taking him away. And now you all are sort of being ushered up to her. So you guys get close to the matriarch. You just notice as you approach, this is an old lady. Her hair, as you get closer, is so gray, but part of it is missing. The human side that you approach, her eye on that side has gotten very milky. You can barely see the iris and the part in the middle. I don't know biology. You guys know what I'm talking about. There you go, pimple. Pimple? What? What'd you say? Pupil. I said pimple. Ha! It's not that. Pupil. The pickle. And you got one. That's funny. That's what Gerbil calls it. the pickle. Yeah, all that is kind of grayed out. She's got a lot of gray, cataracty looking things in her eye. As you approach, you notice her teeth on that side are just so corroded and old. Her skin is very wrinkly. She seems to be beyond like your comprehension of giving someone an age. Then you notice as you get closer her very sharp contrast to the drow side. The drow side is very dark I'd say onyx colored skin. And it's very smooth by comparison. It almost looks very young because in sharp contrast to her other side of her face. Her eyes on that side, the drow side, is completely crimson red. And her hair is sort of off-white on that side. And unlike her human side, she has very full hair on the drow side. She had her hands up, pausing the ritual when she was talking to Gleb. The drow side, very young, long fingernails, black, dark onyx skin. The human side, a frail-looking arm that's sort of halfway held up. And you all approach. What? I'm going to try to do an old lady voice. I apologize. Let's see if we can get a character here. What brings you to my woods? And she doesn't look over your direction. She says it very hushed tone. Every word seems like it's just like a push to get out of her mouth. It's like it took a lot of energy just to say that sentence to you all. And so that is what she leads with. What are you doing in my woods?
Egg thing. My lady.
I'm gonna say to the queen, if I may ask, what's the nature of your kingdom's current relationship with Santopia? And are you interested in improving that?
So you asked what is
Yeah, like what's the political relationship between the Dark Forest and Santopia?
Okay. I'm getting some echo, guys. Is it on me? Is it on the stream?
On me.
On me.
Let me see. Not
Is there an
broadcasting
echo in this
on Roll20.
ritual circle? Or is that just me?
Do I know?
You're just being silly about the ritual circle.
Oh,
Echoiness.
don't touch the circle. Okay, whoever did something, it worked. Because I don't hear it again.
But I kind of wanted to touch it to see if you would tell me the value of it.
No,
Ooh.
really?
Yeah.
You're welcome to try to sneak a touch.
Wait till we get the egg. It's a solid
yeah.
gold egg.
So,
Also, would it show the value of the egg as is, or the value of the thing inside the egg?
It's a gross value, not a net value.
So
it's gonna be
it would
the
include
full
the
area.
contents of the egg.
Yes, a volumetric value.
So you asked that, and she gets quiet and kind of whispers some more stuff out of her drow mouth to the ritual, and then says, "Are you familiar with 6 kings till kingdom's end?"
Yes.
Are you familiar where that came
A
from?
children's story.
Ah,
No one puts any real stake in that prophecy.
I see. Is that what they're teaching? She gets kind of a little angry at hearing that. Is that what they're teaching in the walls of Santopia?
Well, Santopia has been mismanaged for some time. There's so much clamoring about a change needed.
Mm.
Just ask the common folk.
He's right.
I was always told it was just like a metaphor, like something you tell kids to help them learn a lesson about the end of the world.
Yeah, it's really about how long to brush your teeth. It's like you recite it and
Exactly.
move on.
I've
Also,
only
the
met
rhythm
one
of
of
it
these
is-
one king. I don't know anything about 6.
It's also
And
a
he's
good
right
rhythm
here.
to keep it for CPR. So
It's your CPU.
it's right here. Oh yeah. You're right. He is right here.
Okay, let me. I didn't think I'd have to freaking remember the kings, but I gotta remember one of my kings' names now. Don't you hate it when you can't remember your own lore?
Wasn't it Charles?
It was not.
Good guess.
Might have gotten it. Henry? Really
I'm trying to
common.
think about like what
Okay.
what the outer. Oh, go ahead.
What the outer what is?
I was just pondering what the experience of learning about the prophecy would be outside of the city. Pretty sure Gerbil actually probably wouldn't have heard of that, but
It's always
you know,
been.
Gerbil's.
Go ahead.
I would say he just has a tendency to misremember things and assign other fairy tales to certain things. So it's probably
It's always been associated with the mountains, right? So there's 6 mountains. So
oh right.
Yeah.
a lot of people just thought, oh, that's where that came from. Some people say no, that there was something that happened back in the day that caused this to happen. But it's ambiguous. So, many of you all have kind of fractioned. You all know the saying, but all of you sort of have different pieces of it, right? That it comes from. You might have been educated by your parents. You Gerbil being told something by his grandma that's different from what Luca had heard within Santopia, so no one's really known. What you do know is that there has been 6 kings. So there's Mount Annius, which is sort of King Annius, which is sort of your founding father. And then his son was King Crate, his son was King Dominion, his son was King Timber, his son was King Clover, and then to the reigning monarch, King Rose, which is where we are now. So that's all that you know, is that there has been 6, and that the whole land is in sort of panic mode because we're on our 6th monarch, that something's going to happen and no one knows what. So you called it a nursery rhyme and she got offended, and then she says, I'm surprised no one's educated on the real King Annius. King Annius was the founder of Santopia, as you know. But have you all asked yourself how he founded the kingdom? There were people here long before the kingdom. Long before the kingdom. And when you found something, or you conquer it, there's not always good results. She just kind of lets it sit for a minute. Bagarath. She's going to do some sort of insight check against you. She can kind of tell you got something going on.
Oh.
Like just your age. You have mentioned that you're kind of pretty much like an ancient person because you were prior to the 6 generations of kings.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Okay, so she can kind of recognize that this is an ancient object. So that's why she's wanting to do a check on you. So I don't have a...
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean I was, present in the world. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, she's still going to check you out.
What you got?
What you got going?
What are we dealing with here?
What you got?
Alright, I'll use this for...
I'm alright on charisma.
You're like, I'm dateable. Look, I'm single
You're
and ready to mingle.
dateable, to be dated, by years? Because that's what she's trying to do.
Historically.
Yeah.
Correct.
It can be carbon dated.
What happens when she's doing this check and Bagarath's wearing his glove? If they touch hands, do they just go into an infinity loop of knowledge?
Yeah. We branch into multiple timelines.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's scanning him, hits the glove, and just goes, full end of 2001 Space Odyssey.
They start touching hands, and you just hear the rock song. Until now, I've always been on my own. How do I get you alone? It's like one of those 80s absolutely. Rock love songs starts playing.
Oh yeah,
Dreamweaver.
Mm-hmm.
Dream.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
What to check on you? What to check on you?
Do I need to contest this?
Do you get
inside check?
Do you get the vibe she's investigating you? She does it very subtly. Here's what we'll do.
I mean, I don't care either way. I didn't know.
Is your kind of composting or your composition in this material realm? Is it magical, or is it just kind of your essence?
Yeah, it would be magical in nature.
Okay, then she's. Well, but she can't see through your armor.
It would be like if you did an Arcana check on me, it'd be like the School of Conjuration, I guess.
Gotcha. Well, I think that's what she's gonna do. Oh, snap. She knows the magic.
I guess she knows everything about me.
The ritual circle may have given that away a little bit. It's like I may know a thing or two about magic.
So
She's like, I think there might be something going on with this
ritual
guy.
circle that's
And he's like
one and a
holding the
half
egg like
football fields
3,000
big.
gold. I think this guy might have something odd about him.
this feels weird. So she, I don't know. Tell me, Bagarath, on what she determines. She just kind of tells you that you're emitting conjuration magic, and that's about it.
Yeah, I suppose she would probably detect some of the divine energy from the gods that I, are my patrons, I guess. The paladin nature. I can't remember exactly, but the nature path.
Both the ancients.
And she would kind of glean that is part of what is holding me together in this realm. It's not just my own willpower, but also my willpower combined with the deity that is also helping me have a form in this world. Maybe there's a little ectoplasm in there too, a little ghost stuff.
Gotcha.
Oh,
So I think
What was that green thing called?
Slimer.
Yeah.
We've just been walking around with Slimer the whole time.
I think what tipped her off was a little bit of your armor kind of looked dated, so that kind of drew her attention.
Yeah.
Okay, so she knows that. She doesn't seem to react. You guys are just kind of staring at her. She does this check. She told you that there was people here before, people here well before the kingdom was founded, and that King Anias is not really who he seems to be. And that conquering usually, to establish a kingdom usually means to conquer what was already there. So then she goes on and says, it's a history that doesn't need to be rehashed, but rather fixed. This present will do that. It will write the good story and repair the damage that's been done. She gestures to it. It's grown since you're in the brief kind of conversation you've had back and forth. This has grown pretty exponentially. It's gone from a sphere that's a sphere that was 3 feet by 3 feet to now it's about 10 feet by 10 feet. And just kind of stay in, and it seems to kind of now be more spinning as arcane magic's kind of shooting in around it. And as you stare at it for a minute, kind of distractedly as it seems to be spinning, runes are starting to etch onto its surface. That those runes start out like light pencil marks, and almost as if being traced over and over and over, they get bolder and bigger and brighter. And that process has started on this sphere above the black pool.
It's going to be hard to carry that.
You're not wrong. Well, I'll say, Your Majesty, soon there'll be an elf on the throne of Santopia, and I'll gesture to my ears. And I can see a future where our kingdoms are, if not united, then strong allies.
Do a perception check, Luca.
All right. All the P's. 19.
She grimaces ever so slightly. Well, I don't want to say grimaces. Let me walk that back.
She turns into a purple monster from McDonald's.
She does. She gets a little angry. Eyebrows and mouth. And you can sense that the second you start talking about being a monarch or being a ruler. And then she seems to stifle it down and regain her composure. She sort of gets back. She kind of switches the topic from talking about being the king. This will fix Santopia. She gestures with her drow hand. I simply need Santopians to take it to the front gate.
I think we should do that. I think we should do that right now. Gerbil's looking at this thing thinking that it looks delicious. That he wants to fry it up and have the biggest plate of eggs he's ever had in his life.
And still in the back of his mind thinking this whole thing's about his birthday.
Totally. Absolutely.
Ever the optimist, Gerbil.
For the what?
Yeah, there's a blue chicken
The
in
optimist.
Yeah, there's the whole chicken thing. Let's not rehash
Yeah.
that in front of
Yeah.
Rathaga.
Oh, that's right.
God.
Ugh. Sorry about that.
That's what I'm
Sorry
saying.
about that family feud. Yeah.
It's fine.
You know what? We can talk about it later.
But
Over
we'll
a
talk
plate of
about
eggs.
it later. Oh.
Chicken eggs. Oh, wait. Is that the problem?
Yeah.
We sacrifice Rathaga.
Yeah.
Or not Rathaga, it's
Um,
Gerbil.
Yeah, I'll say to her, well, regardless of whether or not I get an official agreement with you, when I am king of Santopia, I'll say, just calling her politeness bluff, I will be very receptive to talks with the elves and look forward to a day where we're all on the same side. And just to be clear, that will be when I am king.
I do like to think that he just seriously adds that at the end.
Yeah. Just
Verbatim.
Like, there's no question. I'm definitely going to be.
no ambiguity. This is happening.
It's like
There's not shit. We're on.
it's like the Star-Lord Thor exchange where they're like,
Yeah,
we
it's
really
exactly-
know who's the captain. Of course.
Yeah,
We don't need to
totally,
say
totally.
who's going to be king of Santopia. Yeah,
Right.
it's me.
Because it's me. Oh, of course. Of course.
Oh, sure.
Of course.
Yeah, so you say that she just she kind of just like does this little like gesture with the drow hand, and you can kind of see that there's this like magic dripping off of her fingertips, almost like black dust that feeds into the object. And then she turns full face looking at you, and it's very shocking when she's looking straight at you because you see the split face going on, and it's just a lot to take in. It's like your brain's like trying to take all these like inputs and not knowing what to do with her face. And she just kind of does like a gesturing with her hand, like, here you go, like kind of like a Are we doing this? Here you go. Are you extending? Are you taking this kind of thing? And just kind of holds it and gives you a nod to you, Luca, since you've been talking about being a king, and just kind of as a gesture, and uses her other kind of limped human hand and frames the object over the pool with her hands.
Well, you'll have to forgive us. We didn't bring anything to carry 10-foot diameter steel spheres. Perhaps you have a wagon or something that we might transport this unwieldy object?
She curls a smile on the drow side, swings back and says some like language. None of you probably can speak any Underdark, so none of you really know that. So it's just like a and this after she whispers like this kind of hush talk, this like loud like chain clang noise happens, and this magic seems to come out of nowhere and create chains all around the object. The runes at this point, again, 10 by 10 sphere. The runes have now been etched and are fully visible and have essentially been sketched all the way and are now set. And these chains, they come out of nowhere and sort of go ching and like chain around the object. It's just magical black chains that chain the object in all different directions. And then 4 chains shoot out away from where you are. So let's say that you're on like the north side of this pool. On the south side of the pool, 4 chains shoot down into the ground and anchor. And she said, and then she just says, and she kind of turns back and does her gesturing thing with one of her hands and says, each of you take 1 chain. Lead the object through the dark forest. There will be no issues. Let the chains go at the front gates of Santopia. And she starts to turn away from all of you all and from the ritual circle. That, as you noticed when she did that, has started to almost dry up. Almost as if it's evaporating the rest of the pool of magic up into the egg. And you just watch it kind of absorb up and liquefy up and finish coating the outside of the sphere with black magic, where the rune's still shining through the black magic. To where there's no ooze or black magic or pooled there. It's just rock with etchings on it. And she starts walking back towards the spire.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I'm getting nothing but great vibes.
I feel, yeah.
I'm warm from this
I also
rock,
feel
and
great.
I say we get these spheres out of here.
I've never quite done anything quite like this. This is kind of cool.
I'll kind of flash Bagarath a shut up look and be like, yes, let's get this job done. As instructed. Let's leave this kingdom where we're surrounded by drows. Take our ball and go. So yeah, I'll go ahead and grab a chain.
Okay. Nothing happens to you. You can tell there's some dark magic pulsating behind you, but the chain is fine. It just feels like real metal to you. And by all physical properties, it feels like a real chain that you're tugging.
Rothagan's also going to grab a chain.
Okay. Bless you.
Allergic to the chain.
And then he grabs the chain.
Okay.
The extra chain, the other one. And
He's got hypoallergenic armor because he's allergic to metal.
yeah.
ceramic armor.
Yeah, Gerbil also picks up the chain in earnest.
So many spores.
So, the chains are really light. The orb is hovering up in the air. I'd say about 20 feet. Yeah, I would say about the little bit under the level of the treetops. Trees in the dark forest, 25, 30 feet go up. So I'd say about 20. You guys are, and if you start on your way out, it will follow you very effortlessly. But if one of you all, and we'll just say it's Gerbil because he's accident prone, like accidentally drops his chain at one point, and the orb just kind of stops. It as if it won't move without the four of you tugging it. So Gerbil, says something Gerbil. What does Gerbil say?
Oops.
A classic.
Classic Gerbil. And he picks his chain back up and he walks.
Yeah.
Y'all start walking down. Do you do anything upon your exit? Any checks or anything you do or say?
So, I wouldn't mind trying to sneak a glance at the ritual circle, but I don't. Well, I mean, I'm curious, but I don't think I would have any kind of insight that would be particularly interesting around it.
Well, you can do a perception check.
You never know.
You could do a perception check or just around. I mean, it's a little town here, so you could, just kind of do a glance to see what you glean from what's going on.
I mean,
When
I
would
would imagine
insight be?
Bagarath would try to
Oh, yeah, for sure.
understand the ritual circle,
Okay.
what kind of arcanic, mechanisms are at work there. If there's enough time, without giving suspicion.
Sure. The drow seem disinterested as you're leaving, like they've disengaged with what you've got going on.
Yeah. Because I think you can cast like detect magic and that kind of stuff as a ritual, but let's see. You just let us know.
I don't have any of that.
You want us to make?
So, let's start with Gerbil. Did you want to do an insight of the freaky circle, or did you want to do a perception check of what's going on?
Yeah, I have a pretty high insight
Okay.
score. So can I use that over perception? Is that a slightly different kind of intuition?
So insight kind of tells you if this thing, like with people, is it lying to me? What's their intentions? So when you do that on a thing, it's like, what is its purpose? Is this a trap or is this real? That kind of, like it's discerning what is false and what is true, kind of is the best way to describe it in my mind.
Cool. Gotcha.
And perception is kind of a glance
yeah.
of what's going on. What you're seeing, what people seem to be doing, that kind of thing. Wearing. Okay.
Can I actually do insight on the chain that we're holding?
Yeah.
I kind of want to know, is this something insidious? Like, is it doing something to us as we're holding it? Would that be more of a perception thing?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm overcomplicating.
You could, you can do an insight, just the purposes of this. What is this chain for? What is it? You do a perception. Okay.
I'll do I'm just gonna do a perception on the whole thing, the ball and the chain, and see if there's anything about it that seems familiar.
Okay.
Give it the once over.
Chain seems normal to you.
Okay.
You notice that the druid...
Well, that's good to know it's a normal chain.
You and the rest of the chain gang seem to be moving fine. The drows, you've noticed, have sort of went back to their daily activities, is all you notice of that perception check.
Okay. I'm still feeling great about this, y'all.
Nothing untoward here.
No, yeah.
These are just normal chains on a normal giant floating sphere.
I feel
High
super
runes
good.
and dark magic, potentially.
I feel super
like
good
this-
about
yeah.
pulling this thing behind us. Can't wait to get out of eyesight of these drows and then just keep pulling it to our kingdom.
I have a feeling this is going to make you become
Let's
a
go
king
for
so
it.
much easier.
Ready to do it. Yeah.
I really hope
Yeah,
whatever's
so
in
I-
there is edible, though, for real.
I'm gonna be. a
It
little
turns
disappointed
out
if
it's not even magic.
It's just a
Yeah.
wonder ball.
What is magic?
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
it's a wonder ball. Oh, I wonder, what's in a wonder ball?
Under my...
Crazy candy chocolate. It was a rocking song back in the day.
Oh, yeah, dude, that commercial. I want
Nowadays,
a
they
wonder ball
just
every
have,
time I'm there
like-
at Walmart.
Flintstone vitamins in them, right? Like they have like little hard candies.
Yeah, it
They
turns
have
out
no
what's in a
reason to
wonder
go
ball
that
is
hard.
a choking hazard. So they had to stop putting toys in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Eat through my chocolate to get my vitamins. That's great. Let's do that.
It's like when Burger King had the Pokemon toys and like 15 children choked to death, and you're like, kind of
Yeah.
worth it, but bummer for them.
It was. yeah. Dude, those toys are so tight.
Oh, worth
It was
it.
worth it.
We still have some. Still balls.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Now they'd be like $30, you know? Those are like authentically cool, like Pokeballs. Anyway, I'm detracting, sorry.
Cool. Anything else from anybody as you depart?
Negative.
Sounds good. You get to
Yeah. Let me know when we're out of eyesight of those drows.
Okay. It's gonna be a minute because the wood line here is super thick, but it almost seems to.
Well, that should block their vision.
It does, but point of order is that you came in kind of as a guided tour, but you're leaving as an unguided tour, but you still seem to have found the right path. It's almost like the forest has guided you on your way out. So you're crossing that wall, leaving the inner hollow. You are now out of eyesight.
I dropped my chain.
Okay? The ball stops.
I'll be like, yeah, there's no way I'm taking this to Santopia.
Wait, what? You
This
don't
is
want to
like-
bring this straight back to Stantopia?
No, it's like a dragon egg or something. She's trying to destroy her kid.
Why would anybody do that?
You know, some people.
Gerbil is
What is
fully
that?
flummoxed by
This is why we think you should be king, Luca.
What
I
Good
do
call.
make great decisions all the time.
is that Suicide Squad? What is that Suicide Squad line? Who knows what madmen do what they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's kind of rude to turn down such a large, cool gift.
We could drag it to your parents' house.
Gerbil is fully on board with that.
Absolutely.
We could charge for this. We could set up like a little farm or like a park. You know, Gerbil's thinking of like a festival and like making plans and
Or
thinking like this could be like a wonder of the Santopian world, you know? I mean, what's the worst
I mean,
that could
it is-
happen?
it is that impressive.
Gerbil's seriously doubting his faith in the king
So
now.
I
just
think
by the way.
Bagarath would,
We'll remember it's here. We'll just come back for it later.
Yeah, sure.
Can I
I'm sure
do
you're right. I'm
a
sure you're right.
religion check on what we just experienced? See if there's any
Ooh.
dark warlock-esque religious significance to any of this. Are we about to unleash some dark gods on Sandtopia or something?
Sure, you can make that check.
Okay.
I'll keep Google up for no reason.
Google.
Nothing?
Good.
Yep. No,
You can't
yep.
really discern what that was about. Some sort of dark. You could tell it's a dark ritual. You don't really know anything further. Thank heavens, because let's just say the DM had to do a little bit more homework on that one.
It's just a giant Easter egg.
He's like, I'm just here to unleash it. I'm not here to figure out what it is.
It's the spirit of
Full of
Easter.
candy.
I do not want to unleash the spirit.
Peter
of
Cottontail
Easter.
comes and takes the egg away from you.
Oh,
Can I
You're
do,
so
can
close to
I do
eating
a
it.
perception check on the egg?
Wait, Easter, resurrection, the salvation of our kingdom.
Boom.
whoa.
That's the metaphor.
We got there.
You can take a perception check on the egg.
I'm just going to give this a shot. I'm just very curious.
It's hovering there.
It's
Luca
definitely an egg. All right.
Luca dropped his chain. What is everybody's passive?
Can we throw stuff at it?
I mean, you're welcome to. What is everybody's passive perception? By the way, if you'll just look at your character sheet, and it'll say passive perception.
Mine's 13.
Okay.
Uh, 10.
I'm still like for
For
passive
Bagheera.
perception.
It's like under all your skills, it's the next thing. So if you go to your skills box, it's the next box below that.
Mine's
It's
12.
passive wisdom perception.
So I'm hearing
It's 12.
the highest is 13. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else from anybody? There was a suggestion to throw
No.
something. Do you want to
Oh, yeah.
Could I hold it? Could I attempt to hold it and get the value of it?
Do it.
Touch it.
It is hovering 20 feet in the air.
All right, so
Go
we're
ahead,
all
throw
going to
it.
need to balance on each other's shoulders.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this
Let's climb
happen.
up one of the chains.
Like a lemming.
There you go.
Like a lemming.
Yeah,
If
you got
only
good
I was a
athletics. Probably. You
non-
can probably climb the chain.
material being that could. Anyway, I got nothing.
I say, the kingdom was fine, is fine, without this thing. Why introduce a new X Factor? You know, let's just not and live in peace.
Where are we going to hide it, though? As soon as they come around the corner, they'll know we just left it.
No, we left the woods, right? We're in the swamp now, right?
No. Did you want to leave the woods? I was just saying you left.
You said the woods guided us out. Where did they guide us out to? More woods?
No, yes, basically. Because remember, there's dark wood, inner hollow, which is surrounded by dense woods. I said you moved out of that inner hollow and that dense woods. You're in the dark forest still. If you want to exit the rest of the dark forest, that's fine too. It's up to you. If that's what you wanted to do, we can retcon that.
Well, we could take it
I
all the
don't
way
wanna leave
to
it in
the
the swamp.
swamp,
Okay.
I don't like that plan.
but that is closer to the kingdom.
Would you say this is a understory prairie, temperate, deciduous type forest, or
Hmm.
anyway?
Beyond the realms of our human
we could.
Earth.
Mm. It's very misty. I like the mist. Very cool. I bet.
I think we're at a good balance between drows can't see us and not to the kingdom yet.
That's a good point. Because
So I think this is our
whatever happens to
opportunity.
this thing in the forest, if no one's there to hear it, did it happen?
You know what we could do is we could catch 4 wild woodland creatures, tie chains to each of them, and just let it loose, and wherever it goes, it goes.
Like an evil Snow White.
You just see it like kind of tailing around in the distance. Squirrels or raccoons
20
or something.
feet in the air, just like...
It's like the most cursed hot air balloon ever, you know?
It's just the thought.
You just give it a bunch of squirrels, and it's all haphazardly rotating around. And...
Yeah.
Or better yet, birds. It just like flies off into the distance.
Oh boy.
Like
Those crows.
like James
Hopefully
and the
they're
Giant
migrating. It just goes to a whole other continent. That would be ideal. Maybe she's telling the absolute truth, and this is actually what's going to save the kingdom. And if we don't bring it, then we're dooming ourselves to apocalypse.
How
very
could
possible.
we know? Maybe we could try to open it.
Here, where we are, I'm here. I don't want to open.
Does anybody know
It
what
might-
those scratch marks are on it?
I'm guessing it would open on
It's
its
not
own
canon. I
at
didn't
some
say
point.
anything about scratch marks.
Oh, I was referring to the the runes that are etched on it.
I got you.
Is
Are
it
they like
any kind of language we would recognize?
The runes?
Or is it just
the
cool
rooms-
magical stuff?
How familiar are you with the runes? Are you a rune
Well,
Terra?
um,
Do you have a rune encyclopedia? A runepedia?
here. Runic leaks. Like WikiLeaks. Quick! Get on Runic leaks.
It's like a medical condition.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now don't get on that then.
Nope. So, can we establish if you guys are out of the dark forest or are in like the mid dark forest? Like, what did you guys say?
we're out, right?
Out.
I think we're out.
By
Out,
the
out.
swamp end or by the castle end?
Well, we don't want to go back to Santopia with this.
Okay.
Yeah, our king is being incredibly ingracious with the giant sphere. I can't imagine why.
I just like things the way they were. I don't feel like adding anything to the mix.
I don't like
There's
change.
no way this is like a
Your
Trojan
logic
horse or anything.
is somewhat flawless.
Even if it's good, I don't need it. Things were fine. I say it's not worth the risk.
What if
What
it'll help you
if-
become king?
We built a catapult.
That wheel's already turning.
What if we build a catapult?
We launch it. Just
Here's
out
what we
into
do.
the sea.
We'll get a bunch of paint. We'll paint it like blue or whatever. We'll drag it back and be like, "Hey, elves, we like your gift so much. We made one of our own for you. And here it is. It's a different one, I
You
promise.
just re-gift their
You can
gift.
tell because it's blue.
Just for a gift. I love it. It's very classic.
Trojan
Christmas.
horse, the Trojan horse people.
Yeah, the Trojan horse. Just build a bigger horse around the original Trojan
Around the
horse.
Trojan horse.
And send it back.
It's fun.
Peabody and Sherman did that.
They're like, hey, isn't that our Trojan horse? You're like, no, it's a Trojan unicorn. Can't you see the horn? And we just like glued a horn on top of it. They're like, okay, that is different. And then you give it to them. And their own soldiers are in there.
Love it. Love it. So I've switched over to the swamp map for people. Because that's where you said you exited.
Swamp.
Swamp. So you now have this hovering orb. I think Luca kind of mentioned he dropped his chain. So the other three of you are just hanging onto your leash. And we're outside of the woods in the swamp area. At the beginnings of the swamp.
Well, I do volunteer to leave this at my house if you're not going to bring it back to the city. Because I have designs on this thing.
You know, this isn't the worst idea we've ever had.
Thank you. That
How
means a
far
lot.
is it to Gerbel's parents' house?
He's a little bit of a social pariah, so he would have been on the outside of the swamp, so pretty close.
All right, well, I'll pick my chain back up.
Okay.
Let's head that way. I think
Head
it's
to
gonna be
Gerbel's
medium,
house.
you know.
My grandmother's going to be so excited.
There's someone to keep an eye on it, but it's not like in the kingdom, so the danger is minimalized.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know, we put a
My
giant
uncle definitely isn't
blanket
going
over
to do
it.
anything with that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, what's your
he
uncle's
was kind of a
name
jerk
again?
anyway,
What was
so
it?
if it
Isn't it like just...
Spud. Spud. That's
if it
right.
ends up being like an
Spud.
elder black dragon, you know,
It's fine. Yeah.
he was kind of a
Well,
rough guy anyway. So
I was going to say, we'll domesticate it. It'll just be like one of the farm animals. Will be fine.
it can eat blue chickens. It'll be
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. All right, so
All right, we're gonna head to Gerbel's house.
You head to Gerbel's house. As you guys head to Gerbel's house to deliver this, we'll call it an egg or sphere. I'm gonna kind of wrap up for tonight. So as you head towards the Gerbel house, you carry this sphere. It's got giant runes etched onto it in all different areas of the sphere. You get closer to the little shack that is Gerbel's homestead. It is getting to be late at night, later into the evening, probably 6 or 7. You approach. You can see the smoke coming out of the chimney of the shack of the homestead. And then you hear, Gerbel! What the hell did you bring to our house? And you get almost...
Surprise, Spud!
And Spud runs out of the house, and he goes, "What the hell?" And you all look as the glowing orb that you've been sort of transporting starts to wiggle and move erratically. And that's where we'll end our session. Bam, bam, bam.
Nice. Well, at least we'll have an NPC to help us with this fight.
Yes.
I hope Spud's a
Spud.
tough guy.
Me too.
Break out the swamp shotgun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Saw it off.
Get off my lawn.
Magic shotgun.
Oh,
Magic shotgun.
Magic shotguns.
Did we egg this house? Sort of.
Hey,
Gives all new meaning to it.
that's enough out of you.
Just disappointed.
All right, folks. This has been IBSTPSNIC. I built a Sandcastle this past summer, and now it's a campaign. You've watched us go through another chapter of this. we are getting so close to the end game. So hopefully our PU2 Cru that's been very generous with their time tonight will come back next week, and we can sort of polish this campaign off before the new year. Also, we will be planning a Christmas special for the PU2 ASU channel. If you remember last year, we did our Reindeer Ranker games. So we will be doing that as well in the coming weeks. So look out for that, and hopefully we'll have a couple more things for 2023 left in us before we transition to the new year. Thank you all. Thank you for the views an hour after the fact. And PU2 Cru, thank you for joining us. It's been a lovely night. Everybody, have a great night. Goodbye.
Bye.